Ashburton District Council. I will be the MC for this evening. Thank you for coming out tonight to hear from those standing in the upcoming local government elections. Before we start, just a little bit of housekeeping. If you have your phone with you, please turn the volume down. If there is an emergency, such as a fire, please quickly and calmly leave the building, and we're gathering at the car park at the front. There are toilets through those doors and round to the left, and we remind you that this is a no smoking or vaping anywhere on the school grounds. So if we think about local elections, they are important. Important because they are at the heart of democracy, at the heart of communities connecting with the things that are happening in the place they live. And if you think about the services that councils provide, they are a key part of everyday lives. So the water that you drink, the toilets you flush, the parks and reserves that you enjoy, the roads you drive on, the libraries, art galleries, and many other activities besides. For those that are elected, there's a lot of work ahead. The government has a significant reform program that is not yet done. We're in the process of transitioning our water services to a new model of delivery. We know the pressure that's on our roading network, and we are doing our best in that space with insufficient money. And of course we know that rates create pressure, and when there is a cost of living squeeze, rates are part of that conversation. So councillors are conscious of all those issues. What we really want from tonight is for the community to get to know the candidates, to make informed decisions when it comes time to vote, knowing that these people have an important role over the next 3 years. This evening we're going to hear from the 4 candidates that are standing for Mayor, and we'll hear from 8 of the 9 councillors who are standing for the 5 seats in the Ashburton ward. We do have an apology from the 9th candidate, from Leonard Kojakaru. He desperately wanted to be here but had a previous commitment and was unable to attend. 3 of the mayoral candidates standing tonight are also standing in council wards, 2 of them in Ashburton and 1 in the Western ward. We don't have candidates up here for the Eastern ward because we had 2 nominations for the 2 councillors, therefore they don't need to go through the election process, but we do have both of them here, and I wonder if both Richard Wilson and Phil Everest could stand up and you can see who they are. If you want to have a chat to them later in the evening, then you'll be able to do so. Thank you, Richard and Phil. It's also the same in the Methven Community Board, where the exact number of candidates match the vacancies. As well as these roles, you'll also be voting for 2 representatives of the Regional Council. We do have some of those representatives here. We're going to invite them to have a say towards the end of the evening, and you'll see those candidates for ECAN, or the Canterbury Regional Council. And finally, for most people who are in this room living in Ashburton, I presume then there will also be a vote for the Braided Rivers Community Trust for the 6 trustees there, and I know 1 or 2 are here tonight as well. So, tonight's schedule. We're going to begin by each of the candidates introducing themselves and explaining why they're standing. Then we have 3 questions from our local media outlets to get things underway. That's the Ashburton Courier, Hokonu Radio and Ashburton Guardian. We'll then have time for audience questions. Before the candidates will get to make a closing statement. We'll then introduce the regional council candidates who are there, and in one case someone speaking on behalf of someone who can't make it. And then we're going to invite you to have a cup of tea and a biscuit and a chat. So one of the things with a good sized crowd like this is that we will not be able to get all the questions asked of candidates in the time we have available. So you'll have that opportunity then to perhaps ask other questions that you didn't get a chance to ask informally over a cup of tea with those candidates. So we would invite you to mingle and chat with the candidates at the end of the formal part of the evening. This discussion is being live streamed, so when we get to the audience questions we have a roving microphone. Tony here will pass it to you. and the only way the question can be heard online is if you actually ask it into the microphone. So if you can help us with that, that would be great. In terms of the format, each candidate will have 60 seconds to answer the question and 30 seconds for their closing statement. We're going to be really strict with that time. We want the audience and the candidates to come away learning as much as possible, but to know that it was fair for everyone. And we don't want one long speech and someone else missing out. So we are going to police that time frame. I can give an indication of what that's going to sound like. So when there's 15 seconds to go, you'll hear a buzzer like this. Here we are, that's 15 seconds to go is the alert. And when the time is up, it'll sound like this. There we are. Good work. We've also changed the order of answers so that you don't always hear from the same person first. And to be fair, we've just randomly mixed that up and tried to make sure that as questions are asked, the order of speaking from the candidates will change to make it as fair as possible for everyone. In terms of a little bit of etiquette and everybody getting the most out of this evening, we would like you to save your questions till the point where we invite audience questions. We would ask that you be respectful. You may hear things you disagree with, but rather than shouting out or interjecting or making it difficult for other people to hear, we would ask that you just hold your own counsel and let the answers fall on other people's ears, because they actually might be interested in that answer. So please respect it. And of course, if we all do that, if you get your question asked, then you too will get the same courtesy. And as I say, I suspect with a lovely crowd like this that there may be some people who have a burning question where we will run out of time and you may not get a chance to ask it. And that's why we hope with the informal mingling you'll at least have the opportunity to ask through that forum. Okay, it's all about the candidates. So your candidates are sitting up here. When they're called up, they're going to come to the podium. This is where I understand the camera is and where the microphone is. So they're going to come up here and give their answer, and then the next person will come up. So I'm going to just keep an eye on the time, keep an eye on the order, but the main thing is that you hear from them. So to get started, the first question, why are you standing? Each candidate has 60 seconds. We are going to start with the mayoral candidates. And the first person to have an answer of that question tonight is Rob Mackle.
Nice to have a short straw. Hello, I'm Rob Mackle. I bring strong leadership and team skills, having common sense, practical thinking and a fresh approach. I'm not afraid to voice my opinion, looking outside the square when needed to help achieve the best results to benefit our community. I have a rural background which involves high country, sheep, beef, crop farming before settling into the dairy industry, building up an award-winning business. Going forward, I'd like to continue focusing on prioritising core services that our council identifies are clearly important to the district. Given that significant investment has been locked into large projects with the new bridge, road and water reforms, which will have effects on the area's rates rising, a change in mindset is needed to rein in unnecessary expenses and want-to-haves. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Next mayoral candidate is Russell Ellis.
Hello, good evening. Why am I standing? Because I absolutely love what I do. In 2013, I brought my business knowledge, common sense, community leadership skills and enthusiasm for the Ashburton district to the council table. After 3 terms of experience of council processes and protocols, my enthusiasm for serving the Ashburton is undiminished. Throughout my time on council, I've always taken a common sense approach to decision making. I have a consistent record of voting to get the greatest value for ratepayers and ensuring the best for our community. Keeping our rates at an affordable level is a high priority for me, as is ensuring our district is a desirable and affordable place to live, work, play and stay. With the retirement of our Mayor, I am ready, willing and able to step into this role. I know my leadership skills will ensure that the new team hits the ground running. Thank you.
Thank you, Russell. Next up is Liz McMillan.
Good evening, everyone. It's lovely to see you all here tonight. My name's Liz McMillan and I'm standing for both the Mayor and for the Western Ward. But I just get one chance to speak. I feel like I've had my training wheels on for the last 6 years as your Deputy Mayor. I've filled in for the Mayor on a number of occasions, attending events, cutting ribbons, chairing meetings and meeting MPs. I know what the role of Mayor involves and I know what the workload is required and I'm up for it. I'm really passionate about the Ashburton district. I'm connected to the community, I'm a grassroots councillor, I value our rural, business, tourism sectors and I love our multicultural community that we have here in the district. I have the core values, governance knowledge and leadership skills to be the right person to lead this district. Thank you.
And our fourth mayoral candidate is Jeff Ryan.
Kia ora, I'm Jeff Ryan and I'm running for Mayor basically because I care. I care about you, I care about your livelihood. I care about Ashburton's future and I'm looking at things like the river and the fact that we could have a flood that could affect us all very, very gravely and badly. So I'm looking at roads and thinking that road networks need a lot of money put on it, hence my petition to government to say RUC for roads, road user charges for roads, not rates for roads. So hence I want to say if we can do that, bring your rates down, lower your rates. It's hurting our people and it's hurting our businesses. You know, all that spending that we could have isn't there because we keep having to rate and we've got massive challenges in front of us when it comes to the waters, the new legislation with the stock, not the stock water that's going out, but with the wastewater, the drinking water and the storm water. So big challenge, a lot of money to spend. I want a canal to Lake Hood, fix Lake Hood, bring a tourist attraction to the town, sell those sections to pay for it, create wealth in the town, bring tourists to this town, make it something pretty special.
Great, thank you. The same question now to the candidates for the Ashburton ward, and first up is Julie Moffat.
Hello, so I'm a first-time candidate. I've lived in Ashburton for 4 years. I'm a journalist at the Ashburton Guardian. I've been there for 2 years. That's given me excellent insight into the district, what's important to people who live here. I'm originally from Christchurch and I've lived in Auckland for 20 years, but what drew me back to the South Island and specifically Ashburton is the thing that's bringing a lot of people here, and that's housing affordability and a more relaxed way of living. And in the immortal words of Fred Dagg, we really don't know how lucky we are living here. I think that listening is an ability that I have, and knowing when to ask questions, because these are the things that give you insight into the answers for the district. There are a lot of challenges ahead that need careful decision making, and there's nothing wrong with a degree of calculated risk. But I don't think now is the time for knee-jerk reactions or lofty schemes. People are working hard in this community to bring opportunities and help each other, and I want to play a part in that, not just report on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Dolph van Amersfoort.
Good evening. Thank you for everyone who's here, for your time spent here, and thank you to the organisers for arranging this. I'm a newbie in this format. You hear so much buzz from people complaining about this being done and that being done. And rather than just chatting with them, I decided to get in on the inside, have a look at it, use my analytical skills to see how and if we can do anything better. It's not to say that I will necessarily be doing anything better or differently, but I do need to have a look if there is something I can bring to the table. I am a team player, and you know, the only way I can serve you is if I get your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up is Tony Todd.
Good evening, everyone. As has just been mentioned, my name is Tony Todd. I'm standing for the Ashburton ward. I wish to see our district prosper and grow, so I'm passionate on making our district a better place to live. The biggest challenge facing our district and council is providing and delivering the services to our district at a reasonable price, and that's a huge challenge that I'm up for. Can I just say that 75% of the annual expenditure is on core services, and 80% of our capital expenditure in the 24-34 long-term plan is on water services and land transport. So we are sticking to our core issues. So a little about myself. As I was in the fashion industry for 55 years, so I've got to know a few people. I've been involved in the Ashburton Licensing Trust for 30 years and the last 12 as chair. I'm involved in JCs and the Rotary Club, and also involved in the hospice at Canterbury. So I've enjoyed my
Thank you, Tony. Next up, Carolyn Cameron.
Thank you, Hamish. Well, good evening, everyone. My name's Carolyn Cameron, and I'm asking you to re-elect me as a councillor in the Ashburton ward. So the question is, why am I standing? My commitment to community is a driving force behind my desire to serve on the council, and I've demonstrated this commitment over many years through community activities and community groups. I've also spoken to many Ashburton residents, listening to, understanding and witnessing the impact of council policies on our daily lives and the interconnectedness of council with economic vitality in our district. You have all helped me with your feedback, and I've always strived to give this feedback and to represent your views on council. I've experienced firsthand the impact of the cost of living on us all and understand the absolute need to keep rates low. My professional background has equipped me with a unique blend of skills essential for effective governance. I have robust governance skills, business skills, financial and project management experience. So in summary, I'm an experienced candidate and offer a common sense perspective and a huge desire to support our community.
Thank you, Carolyn. Next up, Steph Poole.
Ashburton is a diverse, vibrant and growing district, and I believe our council should reflect the community it represents. I'm an active part of this community. I work in this public health space. I'm chairperson of the Ashburton Community Garden Charitable Trust. I'm on the Hakatere Marae Committee. I'm part of Te Whānau o Hakatere Kapahaka, the Southern Rugby Club Committee and the Mid-Canterbury Time Bank. I'm standing because I see, hear and live the frustration of the decisions made without consideration for the diverse needs of our community. I'm standing to listen, support and inform decisions that build a community where everyone can thrive. I'm standing because I believe Ashburton's greatest strength is our people. And I want to make sure that our voices are heard, our needs are prioritised and our district's future is one we can all share in and be proud of. Ngā mihi kia koutou katoa. Thank you all.
Thank you, Steph. And Phil Hooper.
Thanks, Hamish. Lovely to see you all. Thank you all for coming. It's all about community for me. I'm an Ashburton boy, born and raised here. Apart from a few years away, I pretty much have lived here all my life. I'm a very passionate Mid-Cantabrian. I want this town to be an awesome place for my youngest to grow up in, and also an attractive option for my eldest two to, fingers crossed, return home to one day. Over 20 years in local radio has meant I've met a lot of people in this region, and that gives me a good gauge on what's going on here. It's given me some okay communication skills as well. 2 ears, 1 mouth. A councillor needs to be a good listener, and I pride myself on my listening skills. Many times in the past 3 years, I've heard from locals with their problems and got results or answers. 2 ears, 1 mouth, 1 tick, please.
Thank you very much for all the candidates. Our second question is one that's been posed by the Ashburton Courier, and they have asked that I read out that question. And the question is, what do you see to be the core functions and roles of council? We've mixed up the candidates, the mayors and the ward councillors are all together. First up is Liz McMillan.
Thank you. I think the core functions of council, we've got roading, infrastructure, water and waste. They would be the top four, and then we would look out to our parks and reserves, our library and I guess a few other services. But I think when you're looking at core services, we need to get our roading right, we need to get our infrastructure in place. Our three waters are going to be changed with a new standalone business unit coming in 2027. So that will be a business unit of council which we will oversee our three waters, which include drinking water, wastewater and stormwater. So I think those are our three.
Thank you. Phil.
Thank you. Core services, roading, three waters, our rubbish, our reserves, our domain, our library, art gallery and museum. Look, we know that we've got some issues with some of our roads. We've got the fourth largest roading district in New Zealand, I think 2,500 k's of roads in our region. We can't get around them all. We need your help. If you see something wrong or a pothole, then Snaps, End and Solve is such a great tool. I've used it probably half a dozen times and had excellent response and the job done straight away. So we do need your help to let us know what's going on there, but also accountability. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Dolph.
It does sound a bit as if we are singing from the same hymn book. I think we all are fairly serious about our living conditions and health and safety and everything that we actually have come to become accustomed to in a first world country. We really need to tighten the belts, see where we can do things better and cheaper, where we can prevent projects from blowing out. And I think we do need to flood-proof Ashburton a bit in the event of a major storm. We all are aware of the fact that we are getting climate change, and you know, the best way to do it is actually to make it possible so that the water can go away when needed. Thank you very much.
And Julie.
Starting to sound a bit boring really, but the core services are those very things, and they're called core services because it's things that we need to keep the place ticking along. So it is the water, it is the roads. And I know potholes are a big hot topic because, you know, there is actually a human element to that. If you hit a pothole and you blow out your tyre, it ruins your whole day. So people are a core a core asset to this community that also have to be looked after. And there is scope within council for other core services such as social housing. But again, you know, I'm a newbie and these are things that, you know, if I am in council, that we will get to talk about at some point. Thanks.
Thank you. Russell?
Thank you. I believe one of the core roles of council is what we're doing tonight, meeting the people, listening to the people. When we do our long-term plans, annual plans, encouraging people to get involved with those so we can find out then those core functions you want us to focus on. Look, we all know our roads are nowhere near they need to be. We just do not receive the money we need to get to make them the way we'd all like to have them. If we did that, your rates would just become unaffordable and you wouldn't be able to live in Ashburton. It's just something we'd love to do. We spend as much as we possibly can. We actually run a really tight leadership over the people who are doing those jobs. I know some of you probably don't think that, but if they have to go back and repair a pothole, they don't get paid for that. So yeah, my core thing is listening to the people and trying to achieve what we need to. Thank you.
Thank you, Russell. Next up is Rob Mackle.
Thank you. Yep, we all know what our core services are. The way I heard it, the core function of council is to be transparent and to make those services affordable to the ratepayers. And I believe what I was saying before, we need to put a bit of a clamp on the want-to-haves. And another option to look at is selling off investments showing a poor return to pay down debt. We've got some hefty costs coming up which have been landed on us from central government, and that's really going to impact our rates going forward. They're only going one way, and that's up. All we can do now is try and keep things down so it's affordable. And that would be my aim with the team. Thank you.
Thank you. Tony Todd.
I think, as I mentioned in my opening remarks, was the core issue that we're involved in. Like as I said, 75% of our annual expenditure is going on core water and roading issues. But I think outside that, what I like to think is what is the shop window of our town, what impresses people when they come to Ashburton. And when I was in retail, I spoke to people that came to Ashburton, and they liked the town layout, they liked the domain, they liked Lakehood, they liked skiing or other issues like that. So those are the things that attract people to our town, is creating an environment that is pleasant to bring up a family and enjoy what we have to offer. Thank you.
Steph.
Core functions of council are definitely maybe the boring stuff, the water, the waste and the roading. As Julie said, as somebody who drives these roads every day and recently cracked a rim and got a flat tyre, it really did ruin my day. But I think it's about the fundamentals of, we're elected by community, and so the core function of council is to actually represent our community and to listen and to understand what's important to the people that live in our district, what keeps our people here and what attracts people to live and to visit Ashburton. That's really the core function of council, and just really making sure that we're listening. That wasn't 45 seconds, sorry, you didn't get to ring the bell.
Well, the core service to me is supplying the needs of the people. And the people come first. And if we want to focus, we focus on the elderly because they're more demanding. And same with our young people. Our young people at the moment, where's a hydro side? Where's 10-pin bowling? Where's a clip and climb? Where's a trampoline park? Why have we fixed the lake? So those things are fundamental to me because they're what make people happy. And your happiness to me is probably, believe it or not, the biggest core service we want to do. So we deliver with the roading, which we probably haven't, but the council's put good plans in place to get 60 million more over the next 3 years through the New Zealand Transport Association. So that's a big help. I've talked to ECAN. I know John and Ian have done some good things to make sure we extract and we're allowed to extract. So then we can create money. And if we can create money, we can bring rates down. So then put some more money in your pocket. More money in your pocket, the more money that goes around, more fun we can have, the more our council can spend on core services the things that are important to you. You people here are what's important to me and most important to me.
Thank you. And Carolyn.
Thank you. The core services for a council are our water, our rates, our roads, our solid waste collection, and also very importantly is a measure of the livability of the town. Like we need our domains, our parks, our reserves, our museums, they're all considered core services as well. And I think that that's very important that we reflect that in our policies and procedures. But very importantly in the council, one of our core services is economic development. And we need to make sure that we have a place for businesses to go. We encourage economic development in our community for people to start up businesses, they'll grow their businesses, they'll thrive in the district, and their children will go to our school. And we have a livable, vibrant, exciting community in which to grow. That would be my view on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. That brings us to our third question, which has been submitted by Hokanui Radio. Luke has asked me to read it, although I see that Luke is here. So if Luke would like to ask his question, he is very free to. If he's happy for me to carry on, then I will.
Go on, Luke.
Oh, I have.
Oh, geez, it's half a piece of paper long. I hope you're here for the long haul. Well, maybe it sort of fits in a way to the question that's just been posed in the room tonight. I feel there's going to be a real wrestle match between the expectation of core functions from council and also the nice to haves, the wants to haves. So we've gone and selected an example of something that perhaps skates the line. The EA Networks Centre is a real recreational gem which this year celebrated its 10th anniversary. Council has already consulted on a 30-year master plan for the complex, which gives an insight into the exciting opportunities and improvements that we could put into the complex. It's broken up into several stages. The next big project for stage one is an extension of the stadium, adding some additional courts, which the Saturday netballers will tell you is already desperately overdue. It's already been pushed back in the long-term planning, now not set to start until 2031, which is a whole 6 years away. Acknowledging the current pressure on ratepayers, pressure that only looks set to continue in years to come, we want to put to prospective councillors and mayoral candidates, do you remain committed to delivering on the EA Networks master plan in a timely manner, or does it fall into the nice-to-haves?
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Luke. First up, Tony.
Thank you, Luke, for your 3-minute talk. The EA network is a prime asset for this district. It attracts thousands of people per year to various sports. It attracts national indoor basketball tournaments, netball tournaments, badminton. Like the sports that are being played in that stadium now are amazing. So, of course, I'm committed to the extension of it. Whether that will be in 6 years' time or not, there's another question, because that, obviously, as we all know, we're all councils under pressure from projects and also lack of funding. So I think that's something for the future council to decide. But personally, I'm in favour of the extension.
Thank you. Next up, Jeff.
Right, big one for me. First question's why? Why did council go to everyone in the public and say, what do you want to do with the EA network when it comes to the extension or the 3 courts? The public said, we want it now. And the council turned around and said, we're going to push it out 2 years. Why go to the public, consult with the public, find out what the public wanted, and then push it out 2 more years? That's not listening to the public. That's not listening to the kids. I've been out there and I've talked to the different schools, the different kids, the different parents. At the moment, a lot of them are outside when they shouldn't be. That needs fast-tracked. And I intend to push that and push it through. the EA network, 500,000 visitors last year. Extraordinary. What a great thing that our previous council put together, be it they didn't do my hydroslide. But we need the 3 courts, and we need them now, and we should fast track it. We can borrow money for under 4% off New Zealand Government Authority. If you look at pushing it out, it's probably going to cost 60 million. It'll cost us 30 million more in the long run. At the moment, it's 30 million. Let's borrow, let's do it, and let's pay it off.
Thank you. Next up, Phil.
I'm an ex-sportsman. I love sport, but an extension to the EA Network Centre is going to cost millions, as in 20 million, something around that figure. We can't afford that just now. There's no way we can afford that. I'd love for it to happen, but I was there today in the swimming pool and I looked next door at the courts. All 4 were empty, not being used. And I know it gets busy, and I know that they could have more social netball teams, but it's only for a certain amount of peak times. They manage with the basketball tournaments, and they attract people to our region. They're doing just fine. There's a bit of juggling with the college courts and what have you, and the Oxford Street ones, but they're getting there. I just don't think we can afford it at the moment, so it is not on my to-do list in the near future.
Thank you. Next up is Steph.
Look, I'll be honest, I'm not a councillor, and I think there is room for improvement and transparency between council and our community as to why is it being pushed out, why does it cost this amount of money. Do our community actually want it? I'm a mum of 3. I bloody love the EA Network Centre. It's so good. It's really cost effective for families. I also love sport, so I love being there to watch the sport, and I've seen it when it's busy, but like Hoop said, I've also been there when it's really quiet. So I think for me, it's not necessarily whether it's a want to have or a need to have. It's about, is it really vital for our community, and listening to whether it's something we need right now. I think the need is there. Right now, possibly not. As I said, I'm a mum of 3, I budget every week. Sometimes there are need-to-haves and sometimes there are want-to-haves, and maybe 3 extra courses. Can wait. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Russell.
Thank you. Yes, we did listen to the community. We went out, they said they wanted the extension done, then we had to do the budget. It's actually $23 million. It's a lot of money. So we've budgeted to do that in 6 years' time. We've got all the funding sorted and it's going to be loan funded. It still has to be paid for. It will affect your rates. The users of the facility, yes, do pay, but the ratepayers do top that up. But it is a great asset for the town. It is needed, but we have to be patient. We need to do it right. We need to do it at the right time so that it is affordable for everyone. And in that time, the users of that stadium have a chance to generate some more users of their sport, okay, so the facility will be well used. So I'm in favour of it, but we need to stick to our long-term plan and our budgets.
Thank you. Liz.
Thank you. We had 500,000 people go through the EA Networks Centre this year, which is a lot of people. And so we know that it's really well used. And if you've been there at a big netball tournament or the bowls tournament that was held earlier this year, you'll see that it's loved by a lot of people. But probably similar to other views, I think that when we were setting the LTP and we got the feedback from our consultation, we did have to weigh up whether we can afford it right now. And some things we just have to wait. But the beauty of the LTP is it's a 10-year plan. It's in that plan, and we can relook at it again in 2026.
Thank you. Dolph.
Once again, I think we're all singing off the same song sheet. To keep your children busy is actually one of the best parts to keep your community safe. I really think that it's possibly one of the best investments we can make into the future of our children, and which basically brings me to the question that we hear on the advertisements on the television all the time. Do you feel safe at home? And that concludes my talk on the EA networks. Thank you.
Thank you. Carolyn.
Thank you, and thanks for the question, Luke. I am also a keen attendee of the EA networks, and I'm a big fan of the centre, and we do have 500,000 people, which is a big milestone for us, attended that centre over the last 12 months. So we're all very proud of the EA networks. But 23 million for the stadium extension, the Hydra slide was over 3 million. These are huge costs when we have to invest over the next 3 years, 34 million in our water. We plan to invest $77 million in our roads over the next 3 years. So we have to build a road for the bridge. So there are a lot of investments competing for an extension to the EA networks. And we weighed up the pros and the cons, and we looked at the cost, and we looked at the cost of living crisis, and we looked at the impact on our rates and the affordability issue, and we thought, no, we will push it out for another 2 years, and we can review it in another 2 years. So it's not an ignoring the consultation process. It is a balance. Like everything in life, it's a balance. And this was a decision we made as a council. Thank you.
Thank you. Julie.
Well, it sounds like the council did go through a consultation process with that netball court extension. And like anything, you know, people will say, oh, that's a great wish list. Of course I'll say we want an extension. And I'm sure it is an incredibly valid thing to want and to expect. But again, what is the rush? If it's something that can be put off for a few years, then that's great. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It just means there are other priorities that take precedence before that. So, yeah, do it, but do it when the time is right.
Thank you. And Rob.
Thank you. The simple answer from me is no. The EA Centre is a service that the council has supplied. At 23 million, that's just under half of what the new road's going to cost. And yeah, it's been shelved for now, and I think it should be shelved a bit further out. We have some big expenses coming up. It services its needs at the moment. Very often it does not fill capacity, and it's basically just a service. It does not make any money. We've got other priorities. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We now move to our next question, which has been provided by the Ashburton Guardian. We have with us John O'Leask, who's the local democracy reporter, and he is now going to ask question number 4. Thanks, John.
Evening all. The question that's been provided by us is how, focusing on the how, will you balance the need to keep rates affordable with the community demand for better services and infrastructure? So focusing on the how, will you balance affordability with community demand?
Thank you so much. First up, Carolyn.
Thank you, Jono. Like everything in life, there's a balance to that, and the affordability with demand. That was the question, Jono. How would you balance the affordability with the demand? We're currently in the middle of a cost of living crisis. We have to prioritise. We cannot do everything all at once. We are looking at generational services. I would go through, with regards to affordability and demand, we would consult with the community, we would ask the community what their priorities are, and we would balance that with what we can afford. So it would basically be incumbent upon consultation to get an answer to that. Everything's a trade-off. Like extra services cost more, fewer services cost less. So we need to make sure that the community is on side, and we need to go through line by line and look at the detail of that. Thank you.
And Phil.
Thank you. Thanks for the question, Jono. Yeah, it's a matter of putting a line in the sand and really getting grips with what's a nice to have and what's a need to have. What are core services? What are the frilly bits? Make things easier to do as a council. Get rid of some of the red tape that we've got going on. Event organisers, for example, make their job as easy as possible, not too many hoops, otherwise we'll end up with no events in this place. But yep, sorting the nice to haves and the need to haves, putting lines in the sand. Thank you.
Thank you. Rob.
The trick here is to make keep the services that we have available to our community as they are. We're all getting serviced pretty well, and I'm not going to harp on any more about what I've been saying earlier because all that would come into this question. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Jeff.
This much money, this much cost. How do you fix it? Create more money. Hence, I went to the government and I've said, well, I'm going to petition you. The road user charges at the moment, Canterbury produce 12% of the RUC, of the road user charges, 6% comes back. If you look at Selwyn, it's $500 million that they're out of pocket over in the last 10 years. We need the government to stop taking the RUC, leave it here. So RUC for roads, not rates for roads. So that'll take the pressure off our rates. The other thing we need to do as a business is look at where we can create other money. I've been to ECAN, I've said about extraction under the Emergency Management Plan, and I've said we can extract, we can sell that, and we can make money selling that gravel to fund other operations. If we look at my canal system, the Lake Hood, selling that subdivision, the houses right down that park-like setting, we can create wealth, we can create income. We need to look at council like a business and make income ourselves and not rely on the ratepayers.
Thank you. Russell.
With all due respect to Mr. Ryan, we need to live in the real world, not the fantasy one. We're not going to get money from the government for RUCs. We're not going to get money from ECAN, from Shingle, out of the riverbeds. We have to do this ourselves. Look, it's a really tough question. The government have told us we need to up the standard of water, but that's going to cost you guys a lot of money. They don't give us that money, so we have to pass it on to you as the users. We want to spend more on our roads. Who has to pay? Our ratepayers. I could take 5% off your rates tomorrow if we spent less on the roads. We spend about $3 million of unsubsidised money on roading to try and improve the situation we've got. That comes straight out of your pocket with no subsidy from the government. So if you want to save money and keep those core services, somewhere along the line we have to reduce some level of service. Thank you.
Thank you. Liz.
Thank you. Thanks for the question, Jono. Look, we've had direction from the government that we need to just concentrate on the core services. And I know that our district is really, well, people in our district are really proud of how our district looks, and they won't want the lawns mowed every second week instead of every week. So it's a real balance of getting that, the core services and the, I've lost my train of thought, sorry. So I think maybe collaborating, working with other entities, how can we work together with others to keep that level of service up while not putting the rates up. Sorry. What?
Thank you. Tony.
Better read what's happening. Well, as we've talked about, our priority has always been about roading and about water. And as I said before, 80% of our expenditure in the next 10 years will be in that area. So then you say, where do we go from there? So it is about budgeting. It is about prioritising various projects that we do have. So, as we've already mentioned, it's a battle between what we get in rating, which is your money that we have to spend wisely, and which we do take very seriously. So I believe that it's going to be a challenge, really, to be fair, as to where the money does go in the next 10 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Steph.
I'd like to say it's as simple as just making more money, but I think if it was that simple, we'd all be a hell of a lot richer. I think it's about making sustainable, long-term choices and collaborating with other big organisations where we can to make sustainable investments for the future of Ashburton. I've lost my train of thought as well. How will you balance? It is a balance. I mean, it's a balance for families every day and households every day to make sure that there's enough food to keep bellies full and enough petrol in the car and clothes on our backs and still be able to go out and have fun as well. And a bit like the EA Network Centre, it's okay to change your mind and it's okay to decide that it's too expensive or it's going to take too long, and it's okay for things to change. You know, it's a cost of living crisis. And yeah, it would be nice to just make more money, but I don't think it's that simple. Thank you.
Thank you. Julie.
I think everything is always a balancing act, and it is organising priorities. And we go back to those core services. Yes, we want all the roads and we want the potholes fixed and want the water running nicely and water infrastructure running superbly. And when you find there is a shortfall with certain things, looking beyond council, looking to public-private partnerships. Are there other businesses that the council can go into business with, have contracts with? So we pave the way as far as consenting processes and things like that, but allow other businesses that you trust to help deliver those services. So there are options just looking outside the council to do those things.
Thank you. Dolph.
Businesses we trust, that is a very, very important question. I think the majority of all businesses are there for real, legitimate reasons. Unfortunately, there are some people that actually have this vision that as long as the state pays for it, we can charge whatever we want to. So that is a policing matter and a budgeting matter. And I think that would actually be a big job for Hamish to look after. Yes, private partnerships can work, but they need to be watched. Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much, everybody. We're now at the point where we're going to move to your questions. We've got around 60 minutes, so hopefully we will get through a few. But a few house rules. If you have a question, if you could please raise your hand, and then we will bring a microphone to you so that the live streaming can hear your question. And if, when I say yes please, just move to the aisle, the nearest aisle to you, you'll get a microphone and you can ask your question. Two things, if you can say your name, and then specifically if you want the question directed at a particular candidate. If you just ask a general question, we'll assume that you want all candidates to have a crack at answering it. Clearly, the more all candidate questions we have, the more you'll hear from them, but the less time we will have for questions in total. Or you may just want to ask the mayoral candidates something, so up to you. We are going to ask just one question per member of the audience. Of course, if we get to the point of the evening where there are no more questions, then it may well be possible to have follow-up questions from people who have already asked one, but we want everyone to have a fair crack at this. And then, of course, at the end of this process, there will be the opportunity for a chat over a cup of tea. Okay, so I've got a random answering order. So now the candidates that don't know who's going to be called up first, because we obviously can't anticipate those questions. So if you can put your hand up, I see one already. So Tony, if you can pass the microphone. You want the other microphone? Is it going there?
Yep.
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 So
All
that
right.
gentleman there, if you could just come to the aisle, say who you are. One question directed either at the whole group or anyone in particular.
First of all, I'm Tristan Sargent. Most of all know me for hitting up the council online for about the roads. I'm not going to touch the roads today. Everything that's come out of their mouths is not adding up on what I've been told by different councillors, so I'll address that differently. But my question to all is what are your plans to get businesses back into the central city? We see small businesses closing with rising rates and no plans for improvement or development on the central city at the moment. So what are your plans to attract small businesses and other businesses back to the central city?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your clear question. It's for all candidates, so I'm going to run through the order. First up is Dolph.
That's actually a very hard one to have a look at. There are a few things that actually make a business successful. The one is feet in the door. The other one is the price of the overheads. And obviously the goods are probably most important. There are shops like Hello Banana that actually sell junk, and they've always got people in there. Are we going to look at some good stuff? Quality stuff? You need to have parking close by. Somewhere along the line we've actually lost that. You stay in your parking spot for a few minutes later and you get a tag for $200 on your windscreen. That is definitely not the way I like to go and shopping. So what do? I buy online. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Second person is Rob Mackle.
Yeah, what are we going to do to get new businesses into Ashburton? I think the work's already been done. You only have to look down the main street. It's a beauty. I don't think any more needs to be invested as far as the council goes. We just need to support, and that's on everyone, not just the council. We need to support small businesses. We've got these other businesses moving in that are big. The small businesses just can't compete. And basically, we've all got a shop in town. And that will bring small business back to the centre. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Liz, and then I'll just acknowledge that the person after Liz is going to be Tony, so we just get this sort of flowing slightly more easily. So Liz, then Tony.
Thank you. Thanks for your question, Tristan. So we have done a bit of work, obviously, on the CBD, and I think it looks fabulous. We also have put a pedestrian encounter into town, which counts and tells us how many people are walking the streets, and the days, the times, and even whether it's raining or not, how many people are out and about. So we've got that bit of knowledge and data that we can see now who's in our town and what's happening. I think this is a nationwide problem of small little shops. Businesses sometimes don't last more than 2 years in one place, so it's a nationwide problem. I don't know, I think we just need to collaborate with businesses, get our economic development team out there meeting people and working out how we can sell our town as a great place to come and visit. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Tony, and he will be followed by Julie.
Thank you for the question. To be fair, I think we are being proactive in trying to attract new industry to our town. We have an economic development team on that. We have an industrial estate that is begging for new tenants. We've had interest as well, but that's a long-term plan. CBDs nationwide are a challenge, to be fair. The retail market is tough. The choice of where people shop is growing, whether it be by internet or mail order or whatever you like. You just have to see the number of boxes that come into town these days by post to know that people do have choices. So this is one of the biggest issues with retail in general, is where people do shop from. So my plea, I suppose, because I'm not in retail anymore, but you do need to support your local retailer to get a vibrant town again.
Thank you. Next up's Julie, and she'll be followed by Steph.
I was actually thinking about this the other day, and you can't turn back the tide of online shopping and online retail. It's what people are doing. But there's still an attraction of walking into a shop. But I think looking at ideas such as more pop-up type shops, so retailers or hospitality, they're not committing so much to bricks and mortar. They have an option of perhaps once a week or once a month having some sort of market day or something like that, because we know how successful the market day is here anyway. There's no reason why that couldn't be a regular thing, a weekly thing, twice weekly thing. They do it in cities overseas, so I think it'd be something that would take some of that burden off a lot of businesses as far as having bricks and mortar go, and still give them a chance to get out there and promote themselves and do business.
Thank you. Steph is next. She'll be followed by Jeff.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with what Julie was saying. You know, market day, the farmers market, they always do really well. And I think it's important to recognise that, yeah, online shopping is really easy and we can't take it away, we can't turn back the time. And so it's about how can we work with our small businesses to ensure that we're attracting buyers, because what keeps businesses in business is people. And so, you know, events like Glow in the Park and the Market Day really attract lots of people to come from other districts to Ashburton and spend their money here. And what else could council potentially do to continue to attract people here, to spend their money here, to keep our businesses in business? Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Jeff, followed by Carolyn.
Well, if we do my canal and we bring tourists to the town, we're going to bring money to the town. We won't have enough retail space. Something else I want to do is something called Enterprise Ashburton, where we actually promote what we've got in the town. And from that, look at our businesses, look at what needed, maybe do some partnership programs, maybe do some subsidies where we say, right, we're going to give you a cheaper rate to help get you up and running. And after 6 months, you know, you're on your own. So we're going to give you 6 months to help you in. So with that Enterprise Ashburton, we're going to promote what we've got. We're going to do better advertising and say, come to Ashburton and shop and have a look at what we've got. Because a lot of people don't know what we've got, because I think we poorly promote the town. So I want better signage, I want a better site. But Enterprise Ashburton is a tailor-made site to attract people, to attract business, to attract money. I want to say to our fuel companies, drop your fuel price so it's in line with Christchurch and Timaru, so there's more discretionary spending to help our businesses. More money goes around, the better our businesses are.
Thank you. Carolyn, and then Russell.
Thank you. I'm disappointed to hear that some of us are buying online when we have very high quality businesses in town. Council can only influence attracting business in town to a certain extent. We have revisited the district plan to make it more attractive for businesses to invest of different sizes to move into the CBD. We have free parking in Ashburton. We have over 80s double free parking. We have improved the horizontal infrastructure in the town, and we've got beautiful new paving in the town. We have introduced pedestrian counters into Ashburton, the CBD, so that will inform the retailers who might want to rent a premise in the town, but it will also inform landlords that may want to invest in the town, and they'll see how many people are walking up and down the street. So as a council, we are optimising the things that we can influence in the town, and it's very important that all of us in this room and everybody in Ashburton explore what is available in the town before we go elsewhere and go online and send the money out of the district. Thank you.
Thank you. Russell, then Phil.
Thank you. I endorse a lot of what Carolyn said. Look, if you leave here tonight and drive home through the centre of town, it looks fantastic with all the lights and the trees. Council have spent a lot of money on the town centre redevelopment. They did it in conjunction with the retailers at the time. We had to change some of the hours we operated in when that project was happening so that their livelihood wasn't too impacted. Most of what council can do there is advocate. If you go there now, there's 2 new shops about to be built. I think that's fantastic that people are prepared to spend that investment. So yeah, all we can do is advocate. Council doesn't run those businesses. They can just help them along their way. I don't feel we can give subsidies. I've seen that happen before. I saw in another town a shoe shop was given a subsidy to move in. The shoe shop 100 yards down the road closed because the one that moved in got 6 months of cheaper rent. So you've just got to be really careful and smart how you do it to make it work for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Phil.
Thanks, Tristan, for the question. Nice to put a face to the messages. We need to think outside the square. We've got a battle with online, definitely. We need to get people stopping in our town. All those people buzzing down West Street, we need to give them a reason to stop. So that's thinking outside the square. Entertainment in the chessboard and Bering Square, even if it's just a bit of music, it gives the place a wee bit of atmosphere, somewhere nice to sit and have your lunch, will attract other people. Well, what's going on there? Oh, this is a cool spot to have my lunch. Maybe some mini marquees, some funky mini marquees down the green, down East Street, and they have non-competing businesses in them, cheeses and stuff like that. We need to get our economic development team on board, get them to create some events for town that's going to bring some people here to open up businesses. Thanks.
Thank you. We're open for another question. I saw this lady in the Greens hand come up before. We'll come to you. You're good.
I'll stand up, thank you. I'll go look at my book. Yep, that's fine. My name is Karen McIntyre, and I'm a farm stay hostess and bed and breakfast hostess and ex-information centre president. The council sold our information centre. I can't look at my book now. Can't even read my own writing. Isn't that disgusting? Oh yes, beg your pardon, thank you. You sold our information centre and promised us that we would have a room in the new complex. We've yet to see that. Where is it? I want to ask all the councillors that. I want to know if they will do something about it, because the tourism industry is only second to farming to bring in our overseas funds.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the question in relation to how has council replaced, if you like, the information centre. And that question is going to be answered first by Russell, followed by Steph.
Thank you for your question. Look, I've always said I feel Methven is the jewel in our crown when it comes to tourism. Methven in the Mount Hutt Memorial Hall has an information centre where people can go and find out about tourism there. Yes, we do have a very small, and it is very small, I acknowledge that, stand in the new building. As you come through the door, there's an information stand there where businesses, tourist places can put brochures. There's a live screen on the TV, and you can push certain buttons and get different information on tourist things that are happening, but there's not a face-to-face person in there. But our reception ladies are more than happy for you to go and ask questions on what tourism things there are around in Ashburton. Doesn't it? Well, I'll talk to Hamish about that later because it should work. So thank you.
Thank you. Steph, who will be followed by Phil.
I'm not familiar with any promises that were or weren't made, so I apologise for that, and I really thank you for your question. It sounds like a really disappointing situation all round. I will admit it was a little, I can understand where you're coming from. There isn't any information about tourism in that new library, and while I will say that the online resources for our community and the tourism and the youth hub and the resources and supports that's on our website are fantastic. I use them a lot. Digital exclusion is a huge one for our community, and with more services moving online, there is a huge amount of our community that are missing out on that because they either don't have the access or don't know how to access it. And so I would like to see more information in our library and particularly understand why our promise wasn't kept. Thank you.
Thank you. Phil will be followed by Rob.
Thanks, Karen. There's a flash LCD screen just inside the main doors, and it's pretty impressive looking. I understand your frustration over the info centre going, but to be fair, the info's all online these days, and most people are using online.
Thank you. Rob, who is followed by Jeff.
Thank you. We were spending big money on tourism through a company in Christchurch, and council opted to do it in-house, and it was about a third of the cost in doing that. And we've been very fortunate to strike a lady called Shelley, who works on the staff, who has been promoting the hell out of Ashburton. And yes, there is a lot on Ashburton online, and she's out and about, she's getting contacts. We have the film industry looking at us hard. Tourism's happening. If you want to help with that side of things, please go to Methven. They're always looking for volunteers to help run that part of it. Methven is Ashburton.
Thank you. Next up is Jeff.
Well, I remember the building, I remember you, and you did a really nice job. While it was taken away, doesn't make sense to me. Wouldn't have been on my shift. Should we bring it back? Yep, and we probably should put it in the Museum and Arts Centre. And yes, we should promote our town. And part of Enterprise Ashburton will be doing exactly what you're talking about. And I mean, cost. You probably volunteered, did you? Did you volunteer or were you paid for that job? Were you Well done, well done. So part of Enterprise Ashburton, which I'm waiting for Phil's answer that he's going to chair, would be putting that back in place. And hopefully you've got some time available with your wonderful people to come and staff it again, but I want it back. It should never have been taken away.
Thank you. Next up is Dolph, who will be followed by Julie.
Some 20 years ago, I came to Ashburton, and my wife followed me later. And I went to that information centre, and I think it was you I spoke to. And you arranged a fantastic little trip to welcome my wife to New Zealand. And I still actually love that particular instance. Another person that I ran into was Phil, and I answered a telephone call about the most, I don't know if you remember it, about the most lovely concert I'd been to. and I phoned in and I said I'd seen Queen live. Do you remember that? Vaguely. So yes, I am totally behind you, and I agree with Jeff that we need to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie, and then Liz.
I'm not sure about the information centre. I think that was all before my time, but obviously every town needs something like that. If it's not in one place, perhaps there could be, I don't know, several kiosks. They don't necessarily need to have a physical human there, even if it's a couple of kiosks around town in good locations. So not everything may be at the library. It could be in various spots, but I'm just talking off the top of my head. So, yeah, something to look at, I guess. Yeah.
Thank you. Liz, who will be followed by Tony, and then Carolyn.
Thank you. I also remember the eyesight that was in the centre of town. I think my great aunt used to work there. I also worked in the eyesight in Methven for a wee stint, and I fought to keep an information centre in the Mount Hutt Memorial Hall when it looked like we were going to lose the eyesight. We do have some information in the new library. There's brochures, there's a touch screen, and I do understand that a lot of people do book online now, but some people like to have that human touch and to hear where the best restaurant is or what's a good place to go to. So maybe that is something that we need to look at, and maybe it's something that we could look at similar to the library by getting volunteers in to help us out. Not sure how we would do it, but if there's an appetite, then we would like to hear your feedback and we will go from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Tony, then Carolyn.
Thank you. The Information Centre and Karen go back a wee while. Briefly, I got interested in the fighting for the Information Centre was the day that the Information Centre closed. There was a guy got off the bus. We used to shut the shop at 6 o'clock, and he walked across the road and came into the shop and he said, "Where do we get a bus to Tynwald?" And that was, which, as a guy coming to town, he just thought everyone had buses, and so that created my interest in the Information Centre and trying to save it. But we did put up a good fight at the time, but that's in the past, and I think, to be fair, as you moved on and COVID came along and the tourism died, so I still have an interest in offering some sort of service to customers for information, because it is what it was called, an information centre, and information is for nothing. So that is the challenge for council, is that it was very hard to sell information and make money out of it. So yeah, I think it's something that we can.
Thank you, Karen, and I think you know my views on the Information Centre. I was also saddened to see the exiting of the Information Centre, and I also acknowledge that the Information Centre is not just about promoting activities in Ashburton or in the wider district, but it's also about enabling people that cannot access booking or cannot access online sites to book buses or to go on tours or to take their family to help them arrange to go and see Mount Sunday or whatever. So I acknowledge that is something that is missing from our town, and I would support Liz in her initiative if she did indeed want to look and revisit that decision. I think that's a gap. Thank you, Karen.
Great, thank you for the question. Next question, I think I saw a lady over there. Yes, and then the gentleman down here will be next. Thank you.
Hi, Joss Everest. Agriculture is to everybody, and you, Hamish, as well. Agriculture is vital to the vibrancy of our town. Reconsenting will soon be underway on the RDR, the Rangitata diversion race. How will the council support the reconsenting of this critical piece of infrastructure?
Great, thank you very much. The consent will be granted by ECAN. but how will council support that process is the question I heard. First up, Jeff Ryan, followed by Steph.
Well, the RDR is the lifeblood of farming, and irrigation is the lifeblood of farming. So we should do everything we can to support the RDR and make sure it functions 100%. Obviously, with a lot of the RDR going underground to farms, and with centre pivot irrigation, we're a lot more efficient. So with the inefficiency of the stock water race and that leaving us, well, maybe there'll be some more water available, but everything we can do, we should do to support the RDR. It's a wonderfully run organisation. It's profitable. I've seen online the current council of the RDR, the management, and what an extremely well-run organisation the RDR is. I don't know a lot about it, so I'm going to research it because I've tried to school myself up on everything I can for this job. So apologies if I don't know a little bit more. I'll certainly make it a priority to find out a bit more. But I assure you, everything we can do to make that RDR more efficient. And we've got good people, you know, from ECAN with John and Ian, who are very, very astute. So I'm sure that we'll get you everything you want from the RDR and more. We will over-deliver if I am mayor.
Thank you. Next up is Steph, followed by Rob.
I am a newbie, so I'm not 100% sure on the obligations of ECAN and Ashburton Council when it comes to that specific situation. But I think what we've talked about before is that word of advocacy. It's about Ashburton Council advocating for our farmers and for our rural sector and making sure that we're doing everything we can to collaborate with other organisations to make sure that our district is represented and looked after.
Thank you. Rob, who will be followed by Liz.
I am a farmer, so yeah, so from my angle, I believe we should support it 100%. As far as Ashburton District Council goes, supporting the RDR scheme, I believe the ADC has interest in it, a financial interest in it, so they will do whatever is necessary to support that. Thank you.
Thank you. Liz, followed by Phil.
Thank you. It's kind of been a wee bit repetitive now, but I think it's ADC's job and us as councillors to support the RDR. We have currently our mayor is sitting on the RDR board, so we have an appointed councillor or mayor who sits on that board, and we need to work with ECAN as well. So working with the ECAN councillors, working with their staff. It is, as mentioned, it's the lifeblood. We need it to support our farming community, to supporting our whole community, because the rural community keeps us afloat. Thank you.
Thank you. Phil will be followed by Russell.
Okay, Townie answer. Everything we can. I know that it's the lifeblood of Mid-Canterbury. We've got two fine gentlemen down here who I know will advocate to ECAN and advise us at council, so we can do the best job we can for supporting them.
Thank you. Russell will be followed by Tony.
Hopefully everything you've heard has left little doubt that obviously council was very interested in this and will advocate for it, and I'm sure there'll be a call for submissions and council will be putting one in. Without our agricultural sector, we couldn't even be talking about our town centre like we have, because we just need that money that the agriculture sector generates for us that the people can then spend in our town centre. So it's extremely important to this district.
Tony, followed by Carolyn.
Well, as we all know, agriculture is the lifeblood of our community, so we've got to be very careful how that we advocate strongly for the RDR reconsenting process. But I'll be definitely guided by the two gentlemen from the Eastern Ward who are sitting down in front of me here, because they know all about it. So they'll be definitely guiding the townie in what to do.
Thank you. Carolyn and then Dolph.
Thank you for your question, and I think part of it is we need to make sure that ECAN do consent for the water consent, so that the RDR is allowed to perform its function of irrigating hectares of the district. Also, I think we also need to acknowledge that the RDR is an amazing feat of engineering, and we had the open day and we could walk down it. It was fascinating. So apart from being a very functional and absolutely vital asset to our community, it's also an incredibly interesting part of our history. Thank you.
Thank you. Dolph and then Julie.
When a youngster doesn't know how to answer something, he normally says, "Daddy, come in, help me." I do think that we have central government addressing agriculture to a great degree. One just needs to follow the YouTube links for the various parties in power. And, there are quite a lot of things there that could actually be done a lot quicker and easier than if we fight over it for 7 years. They can actually do it with a stroke of a pen. So I do think that we need to ask central government to help us on this one. Thank you.
Thank you, and Julie.
This is one of those situations where I can just say, I don't really know. But I do know that the agricultural sector and the urban area of Ashburton are interlinked and can't do without each other. And I know that if I do get elected into council, that I will be consulting with people that do know about these things and would follow their advice on it. So that's me. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Now I think the hand I saw was this gentleman in the second row, and I do want to go back into the room. I think I see these ones more readily, so the next question needs to be a little bit further back, but this gentleman with the glasses in the second row is next. I'm aware of your hand up too, sir.
Thank you. I'm David Watson. I'm a retired local resident and civil defence volunteer. My biggest worry about the town is the water supply, which is a core thing for council, but it's under threat. The councils to the south of us have got a current crisis of nitrate levels in the water. They are rising. What are and I'll address the question to the mayoral candidates to try and keep things short. What are they going to do to pressure the regional council to sort the nitrate problem?
Okay, thank you for your question. Nitrates in the groundwater, just for the mayoral candidates. The first name on that list is Rob.
What are we going to do about addressing or putting pressure on ECAN? I believe ECAN have been doing work in this area for some years, and I'd hate to think how many, but they're constantly working on it. I'm aware of nitrates elevated over in Tynwell, yes. They are within safe drinking water, but given that I have a daughter and a baby over there, so I have a vested interest in what she is drinking and her baby. Going forward as a council, what I think we should do is put a water supply over the bridge to have that the main source of supply, and the well that's over there as a backup and as an emergency. So everyone in our district or in town is drinking the same good water. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Jeff, who will be followed by Russell.
Who would have ever thought that clean, green New Zealand would ever have drinking issues? At the moment, only 2 of the 11, drinking sources we have actually comply. Underwater done well, we must bring them up. So we've got to have some UV systems put in, some backflow meters are going in currently, and treatment plants and things like that for water. We don't really want to put chemicals in. I'd be totally against that. When it comes to nitrates, your body does need a small amount of nitrate. It's in cabbage, it's in a lot of our food. For ionic exchange and cell transfer, without nitrates you wouldn't actually survive. So we do need a little amount. So it is tolerable. And as long as it's tolerable, we shouldn't be too worried by saying, oh, it's nitrates, and we get all worried. But if it goes over a certain amount, it's detrimental to the body. So it needs to be monitored at the moment, and we've got an audit that's going to have to put in the next 2 years, and we must comply. So that must be addressed, and every council must address it. It's a big cost for us. I think Neil and his crew have put in dedicated over $7 million.
Thank you, Jeff. Yep, I appreciate it. Russell and then Liz.
Thank you. Nitrates is a little bit dear to my heart. My level at my house is 22. But look, Regional Council are doing a lot of work with the MAR projects, Managed Aquifer Recharge, to help assist with diluting the nitrates that are in the ground, and hopefully that flows on through into our drinking water. Unfortunately, the UV treatments that we're putting in doesn't actually treat nitrates. It needs a different form of treatment. And our Ashburton water supply is totally safe to drink. I can assure you of that. The nitrate levels are exceptionally low. In Tynwald, they are sitting around about 7, which is starting to get into the uncomfortable zone, but still well under the recommended level. So, yeah, we just need to keep a real close eye on, but anything we can do to reduce nitrates, I will support.
Thank you. And Liz.
Thank you for the question. I think it's up to our council to be monitoring this, and we are doing that at the moment. We're getting regular reports, but also there is a water regulator in place now from central government who keeps an eye on all of this. So it's important. We know that. We get regular updates, and we just need to keep an eye on it and work with ECAM when we can. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll seek another question. Is there one any bit further back where I don't see quite so easily? If not, there's a lady here, and then I'll come down to the front. Thank you. And another one over there. Thank you.
Thank you, Hamish. My name's Diane Rawlinson. I was a councillor here for 6 years, from 2016 to 22, and then decided to retire. Now, I have a question that's a mayoral candidate question, but I think perhaps I only need to ask it to Jeff Ryan because the other candidates are on council. So it's around the knowledge of local government and understanding the rules and regulations that you're bound by when you sit at that council table, as to what experience, Jeff, you would have to bring to the table. We have read widely in the media of your experience in Parliament or in government, so I would be curious to know of your knowledge of local government.
Thank you for that question. So this is just directed at Jeff around local government rules and regs. Thanks, Jeff.
Well, there's different acts we've got to comply with. If we look at going forward where the government's going at the moment with different compliance and changes to the RMA to help us and to save us money. So that's something that's a bit of an unknown that I'm very, very interested in. The government's certainly making big noises that will benefit all our business and all our people and reduce our costs and help our councils afford what we need to afford. Obviously the Local Government Act means that we have to do things within a set boundary of what the people expect, and then we've got to deliver on that, within that expectation. We've got dog control acts, we've got noise acts, we've got all sorts of things that the government must abide by. And then we have different building codes and things like that that we must abide by. And then we have other compliance issues that we can actually create our own rules on. It's an onion, that one, because there's so much that I could answer. Certainly I've got good contacts in government, and I've worked with Keegan Brash, with Nick Smith, Simon Bridges and Tony Ryle. So,
Thank you. No, we give each candidate 60 seconds. If there's further you would like to discuss with any of the candidates, that's what the cup of tea is for, rather than a two-way thing in here. Now, there was a gentleman down here, I think, that I missed earlier. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Barry Kerwin. We live at the south end of Tynwald. I understand the road south from the new bridge will link up with Graham's Road rather than go straight on and link up with the main road. I think that would be a disaster. It'll turn Graham's Road into a highway, which is going to make it impossible for the people on the south end of Tynwald to get out. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to suggest that the road has been designed, and you're right, that is what's happening. Perhaps we could have an opportunity to talk to you afterwards around your concerns about how that might work out. But the road is about to be built, so it is going to Graham's Road. And your concerns we can perhaps take offline and talk to you about it, because I'm not quite sure what the question can be for the panel when that decision has already been made. Is that okay? I'll come and see you after. Thank you. There was a question over here.
My name's David Oakley and I'm a retired farmer and contractor. There's been a large number of local bodies throughout New Zealand have introduced separate Maori wards in their districts. Do the candidates believe that a separate Maori ward is called for or desirable in the Ashburton district?
Thank you. A nice clear question about Maori wards. We will start with Julie, who will be followed by Tony.
Tricky question. Tricky one to answer as a Pākehā, and a tricky one to say I don't actually think that there is a need for Māori ward in the district. That is not to say there isn't a need for Māori voice here, for example, and a Māori voice that we need to hear on many occasions, on many issues, particularly a lot of the issues we've talked about tonight, like water issues and environment and things like that. So that at the moment is my stance.
Thank you. Tony, followed by Rob.
Thank you. Maori wards at this stage, we don't meet the threshold to have Maori wards. There must, I think it's 10% of Maori must live in the area to go to that to see whether we need Maori wards. Personally, I don't believe we need Maori wards. I strongly believe in one person, one vote, and anyone can stand for local government. And if a Maori or anyone else gets to the Parliament, into council, I would definitely support them around the council table. But you get there by your own means, like all of us here tonight.
Thank you. Rob will be followed by Carolyn.
I'm from Kaikoura, and the Kaikoura Council up there works very closely with Maori and make great headway with decisions regarding water and other issues around the town. Council here work with the marae here and with iwi. Really, if there was a vote or a decision to go with the Maori ward, that is up to Maori, and that's where the decision lies. At the moment, it's working well. If the Maori felt that they weren't getting a voice, they're free as anyone to relay that through us. Thank you.
Thank you. Carolyn will be followed by Dov.
Thank you for the question. As Tony mentioned, we have not had a lot of discussion about Maori wards on our local council. We do not meet the threshold, so there's been very little discussion about it, but I would support the community, and if the community wanted to have a Maori ward, and that was after consultation, that was the view of the community, then absolutely I would support the community in that. But at the moment, we do not have Maori wards, and I'm supporting the community in that position as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Dolph will be followed by Liz.
To answer the question, I don't believe that the ethnicity of a person needs to give him a special seat at the table. That's as plain as I can set it. Thank you.
Thank you. Liz, followed by Phil.
Thank you. I think I'm going to repeat when I say we don't meet the threshold, but we also haven't heard from our local runanga on the appetite to have a Maori ward, and I think that's where that conversation would come from, and then obviously it would go out for consultation. I would like to see a diverse council, and I hope that the next council term and the one after that will encourage maybe younger, diverse people to stand, so that we get a really good cross-section of voices across the council.
Thank you. Phil and then Russell.
Well, I'm just going to repeat and say, yeah, we don't meet the threshold, David, but yeah, we are here to listen and do as our ratepayers and public wish. So if that is the wish of the ratepayers, then we will listen.
Thank you. Russell. Russell next, and then Steve.
Yes, thank you for the question. Look, we need some diversity, but it's something that we have not been asked for. Look, you look along here now, pale, stale male, sorry. And I'm one of them, I know that, you know. So not all male, I recognise the lovely ladies that are here too. But look, we work closely with Arawhenua. It's not a request we've had from them to look at either. So if the public would like to see some Maori representation, please submit on that in our next long-term plan, and then we have to listen. So thank you.
Thank you. Next is Steph, followed by Jeff.
Kia ora. I understand that Ashburton doesn't meet the threshold for a Māori ward, and that's why we don't have one here. But I'm on the Hakatere Marae Committee. I'm part of Te Whānau o Hakatere Kapahaka. I know lots of Māori community members in this community and in this district that would love to see more representation around the council table. And it's about collaborating with Arawhenua as the runanga for this space, and with Hakatere Marae, and with the Multicultural Council, and with the amazing diverse community that we have here, because Toitū Te Tiriti, Te Riti is the founding document of Aotearoa New Zealand, and it is important that as tangata Te Riti, as Pākehā, as people who came here, we represent and honour that partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, and Jeff.
Yeah, with the treaty settlement process, what we have to do is obviously consult with Māori Whenua, and I've never heard anyone from Māori, and we've got 10% Māori in our region, complain about what Neil and his team have done. So obviously their consultation's been very, very good. Yeah, I'd like to see probably, a Māori representative on council, but then again, I'm going to backtrack and say there's no complaints. So Neil and his team have done a good job. We have to conform to, I think it's Te Riti, excuse my Māori if it's wrong, but that's to do with the land and the rivers and things like that, everything that's culturally sensitive and has some heritage value to Māori. I certainly think that our Māori people are well looked after, and if they're not, I'd like to hear from them, and I'd like them to tell me why. Should we have a Māori ward? No, it doesn't meet the criteria, but if Maori decided that they wanted to push that, then maybe we should have a referendum and talk to our constituents and say, right, then it's needed. But I certainly think it's an important voice, important to our heritage and to our tourism.
That's
and,
great. Thank
we
you so
embrace that
much,
culture.
Jeff. Appreciate the answer. Okay, we're at 8:45. We've got a little bit left to do, and we do want to have that mingle opportunity. But if there was it was an urgent question, we'll take one more from right up the back. Sorry, Tony.
Alan Andrews. I've always taken an interest in local governance, also regional governance. There's one question and there's one thing that has perplexed me for a number of years. I challenged Prime Minister Bolger on setting up an extra tier of governance for a country the size at then 3.5 million. Do we need regional councils? I believe that district councils or unitary authorities could do the job at a lot cheaper. Just remember, we're paying 2 lots of rates.
There we are. So the whole lot of you gets to answer whether we need regional councils. We will start that with Steph, followed by Russell.
I mean, the regional councillors are in the room, so it feels awkward to say no, and I don't think no. I think I think that regional council has a really important part to play, and we work in collaboration with as many organisations as we can. I think that paying 2 sets of rates is maybe an oversimplification of a much larger conversation and a much bigger issue, and I don't know, they're looking at me. It's a really complicated situation that perhaps could be looked at maybe down the line, but I don't think it's that important right now. And honestly, I think ECAN do a pretty bloody amazing job, and Ashburton District Council has a good history at working in collaboration with them. So, thank you.
Thank you. Russell will be followed by Jeff.
Sorry to the ECAM people here, but my answer is no. Yes, we do pay 2 lots of rates, but the function that ECAM performs, if council did take that over, would still need to be paid for, so you'd still end up paying probably a similar amount of rates. But 2 layers of governance, I think, would then help reduce some of those costs. I'm just not sure how we deal with things like public transport and those sorts of things where ECAN have turned a blind eye to in Ashburton. But it's an exceptionally expensive exercise to run. So, but do I think there should be 2 lots of governance? My answer is no.
Thank you. Jeff will be followed by Rob.
Well, I went to ECAN to the candidate session and I had a yarn to Stephanie, the CEO. I told her the problems with our town. She didn't seem to be too aware of it. So I wasn't too impressed, to be honest with you, considering she's on $364,000 a year. I think when it came to the county council that used to extract from rivers, it was streamlined, it worked, and our rivers were safe, and we were safe from flooding. Luckily, Angus Mackay put in a big stop bank. We probably need to make it bigger because ECAN have stopped us from extracting. But I've been to ECAN and they've said they will allow me to extract 3 million cubic metres under the emergency management plan out of the Ashburton River to safeguard this town. Do we need ECAN? To be blunt, you want to hear blunt? It's full of greenies, right? And that is not looking after our town because we need to have a blend, right? The wrong people in there. We've got the 2 best people in ECAN in this room. One of them's in this room, and John. And if he was running an ECAN division as part of our council with the very astute Ian McKenzie, we would go places and it would save us money and we wouldn't be stifled in our consents and our compliance.
Thank you. Thank you. We've got Rob, who will be followed by Liz.
Yes, ECAN needs a shake-up. It has definitely dropped the ball. For First thing, I've agreed entirely with Jeff. We have a couple of farmers from mid-Canterbury involved with it, and we're very fortunate to have them. And we need a lot more of them. There's too many people from in the city giving a lot of orders that are happening further out in the suburban area. Yep. But be careful what you wish for. That job still has to be done. A shake-up is needed. If ECAN's disbanded, it'll just be under another name. I don't believe ADC has the capacity to do the work they are currently doing. Yeah, but they do need to lift their game, agreed.
Thank you. Liz will be followed by Carolyn.
Thank you for that question. We were actually talking about this today during our lunch break, and I don't think we came up with an answer, but and we do have our ECAN candidates in the room. I think in time we will see Ashburton moving into a unitary council, but that could also mean that Ashburton's combined with Timaru or Selwyn or somewhere like that. I think the government will look at the layers of local government and will kind of direct us perhaps in that, and I think we need to think carefully. I think Rob said be careful what you wish for. Yeah, there's a lot to come, and I think it's just watch this space. Thank you.
Thank you. Carolyn will be followed by Julie.
Thank you for the question. There are a lot of frustrations around ECAN, especially with regards to their consenting process at the moment in mid-Canterbury. And of course it's attractive to say, no, we don't need ECAN, we can manage our own consents because we're in mid-Canterbury and we can manage that ourselves. And we can manage sorting out the river and mitigating the flood risk in the river and building the stop banks and getting rid of the shingle. And that may be so. ECAN deal with the whole of Canterbury, and they have transportation to consider and all sorts of other factors. So I think there is a temptation to say, no, we'll go on our own and we'll have a unitary council. But I think, like everybody else, I would like that. That would be nirvana, I think, for the district. But I think with regards to cost and how we would manage it, I think that would be quite a complex process, and I think would require quite a lot of planning and consideration. Thanks. But in theory, I support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Julie will be followed by Dolph.
I think I also, in theory, support not having a regional council, and I think the Ashburton District Council already takes a lot of rural needs and environmental needs and all those things that ECAN encompasses into consideration in a lot of the policies that they have already. So if we do end up getting rid of an entity like ECAN, it would be a slow, gradual process, I would imagine, over, 5 years, maybe even a decade. But yeah, I think it's probably inevitable that will happen.
Thank you. Dolph, followed by Tony, and then Phil.
It's very hard to tell a guy when you're looking him in the eye that his job is no longer required. However, I do want to just say that, at the moment you have layer upon layer upon layer, you're just adding to the cost. You don't necessarily improve the efficiency. The Japanese actually have a layer from the top brass right down to the cleaner. There's only 4 levels of people in there. I think we can learn a lot from that and save a lot of costs on that. And Phil, sorry, it is what it is, as Jacinda said. Thank you.
Thank you. Tony.
I don't think we are really into regional council bashing tonight, but are we? But I think, to be fair, there has been quite a lot of frustration with the time taken with consenting with ECAN, which so a lot of this regional council bashing could have been brought upon themselves really, but I think it's not going to hurt them for them to justify the reason for them still being a council, and whether we should be combining what regional council does with us ourselves. Whether there's a cost saving in that would be debatable as well, because a lot of the activities still have to carry on. So I'm a person to sit and listen and make the decision once we know we have all the facts.
And Phil.
Thank you. I think the big question is, does ECAN care about Mid-Canterbury? There's a lot of shaking their heads going on. I don't think they care about us. I really don't. I think John and Ian, I've known Ian for a long time now. I think they're good blokes and they do a great job. I'm sure they bash their heads against the wall a lot. The only dealing I've really had with ECAN, I know there's a lot of farmers who are struggling with consents and delays, but the Lake Camp water issue in council was just one frustration after another, and it felt like ECAN were just throwing hurdle after hurdle in front of us, and yes, we could spend millions and get a consent, or try and get a consent, but there was no guarantee we'd get it. That was very frustrating. I think that's the biggest word that comes to mind when I talk about ECAN is frustration.
Okay, well, you might be revising your 60 seconds of comments, John. You can't have an extra minute. Okay, thank you so much for your questions. I really appreciate both the turnout, the breadth of questions, and the goodwill that you've shown in the way you've asked those and been answered. So thank you so much. We're going to close with this section before we do turn our attention briefly to ECAN by asking the candidates to have some final comments. They will have 30 seconds before the dinging starts. We're going to reverse the order, and so the first person, and we'll do the ward first and then the mayoral candidate, so the first person to have their 30-second summary is Phil Hooper.
Thanks, Hamish. A lot of people ask me, Hoops, how are you enjoying council? And I always respond, I love it. I do love it. I look forward to each and every meeting and workshop. It's a big challenge. It's been a steep learning curve, but I'm so glad I stood 3 years ago, and I'd love another 3 years around the table. I'm a team player, but I'm not scared to go out on my own when I need to. For a councillor with this community at heart, please put a tick beside Phil Hooper.
Thank you. Next up is Steph, who is followed by Carolyn.
At the heart of it, my campaign is simple. I want to bring voices to families and our wider community to the council table and make decisions that reflect equity, resilience, and our shared future. Ashburton's greatest strength is our people, and I'm committed to listening, supporting, and standing up for us all. He aha te mea nui o te ao, he tangata, he tangata, he tangata. What is the most treasured possession in the world? It is people, it is people, it is people. Thank you.
Carolyn's followed by Tony.
I think we all want Ashburton to be a great place to live, and I'm asking for your support in the upcoming election. My experience on council shows that I can add value and represent the community effectively. And in summary, my priorities are careful use of ratepayers' funds, in particular avoiding wasteful spending, being accessible to the community I represent, a focus on delivery of the basics, roads, water, rubbish collection, parks, reserves, and I would love the opportunity to represent you all again. Thank you.
Thank you. Tony, then Dolph.
Well, so there you have it. The ball is now in your court. So do make a positive choice. I seek your support for a further term on council. So tick Tony Todd for a seat at the table.
Thank you. Dolph, who will be followed by Julie.
Well, I think this is the time, like when when you go to see the bank manager, that you actually fall down on your knees and ask him for the overdraft. I would definitely appreciate your votes to enable me to actually serve you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Julie.
At the start of the evening, I said I was a first-time candidate, so just reminding you of that. And what I bring as a first-time candidate is some fresh eyes. And if you vote for me, and you'll have some of the return councillors as well, that good mix of the fresh eyes and the experience, I can ask questions, I can find out about issues, and I've got an open mind. I'd also like to see more people engaged in democracy. So make sure you go out and tell people to vote in these elections for Julie Moffat.
Thank you. Now to the mayoral candidates, and we will start with Jeff. Each mayoral candidate, 30 seconds.
Do I want the job? Absolutely. Can I do a good job for you? Yes, I guarantee you I will. I will put the yards in. I would uncover every stone. I'll turn every blade of grass. I will listen to you. I will come to you. My door will be open 24/7. I will work my butt off for you. And I'll find out what you want, and then I'll best deliver it. And I will form a team. If you want to talk to the new candidates, they've all been sent the annual plan for me that I broke down and the 10-year plan. I'm a team player, and I want to bring that team playing with the other councillors. I will forge one of the best teams you've ever had in a challenging time. We will take it from where Neil's got a good platform.
Thank you. Thank you. Next mayoral candidate is Liz, followed by Russell, and then Rob.
I'd just like to say a big thank you for all coming along tonight. I'm passionate about representing the Ashburton district, and I know I can lead a successful team at council. Having strong leadership skills and a reputation for getting things done, I'm committed to the role as a way to give back to a community that has given so much to me. I strive to be a mayor for all people and champion and advocate for our district. So vote 2 ticks for Liz, 1 for mayor and 1 for Western Ward. Thank you.
Thank you. Russell.
First of all, can I thank these lovely people here for giving you the choice that you actually have for people to vote for. Fantastic to see so many people interested in our district. But of course, I'm going to ask you to vote for me. Strong leadership, fiscal responsibility, and unity. I can steer a team to get an end conclusion to benefit all of us. So thank you. 2 ticks for Russell.
Thank you. And our 4th mayoral candidate is Rob Mackle.
I've learnt whatever you do through life, you're only as good as the people around you. And this has been a well-considered decision to step up and stand for mayor. So if you're wanting someone to look out for your best interests, then tick Mackle for mayor.
Okay. Well done, everybody. We are going to consider now the regional council relatively briefly. We get to vote for 2 representatives around the ECAN table, and there are 4 people standing. We have received an apology tonight from one of those candidates, which is Helen Troy. And we also have an apology from Ian McKenzie, but who has asked Phil Everest, one of the successful standers in the Eastern Ward, to speak on his behalf, and we have granted Ian that request. So we're now going to have 60 seconds from the 3 who are here. We've drawn names randomly from the Mayor's hat, and we are going to start with John Sunknall. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm John Sunkle. I farm at Leaston with my wife Karen, and I'm a registered paramedic with St John. You've given me all the answers to what is wrong in the Mid-Canterbury and in Canterbury tonight. I don't actually disagree with you. Rates, we need to keep them down. Rivers, we need to keep them clean. Water, we need to improve our nitrates, and we need more of it in storage. We need to sort our consents out. We have 27,000 consents in Canterbury. We probably need 5,000 consents, and the other 20,000 can be permitted activities with really good compliance rolled around them. We need to empower and enable our communities, our catchment groups, the folk on the ground, how they win the hearts and minds, how they change practice, how they improve the environment that we all live in, and improve the environment for everyone. And my last point, be careful what you do wish for. I do not want to be governed or managed from central government or by central government from Wellington. So thank you for your past support, and seek it again.
Thank you, John. Next up is Peter Trolove.
Dr. Peter Trolove. I've been a vet for 50 years, and I offer the other side of town an option, because everybody here has told me they would rather have the most polluting farming in New Zealand full of red zones and have someone else pay rates to treat the water to make it potable so they can make a living at your expense. There were 3 salmon caught on this side of the Rangitata this year. We've wiped out a species of native fish at the Rakaia, so the trout fishery's gone. We're proud of the fact that we've got well over 10% of our bores over the maximum allowable value for drinking water for nitrate. So we're happy to have short-term gestations in our women. We're happy to have a community full of bowel cancers. I just offer the other side an option if you want to vote the way I see the world.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And speaking on behalf of Ian McKenzie, who can't be here, is Phil Everest.
As Hamish has said, unfortunately Ian's unable to attend this evening, but he's provided me some comments to read to you. My basic premise is that ECAN has ignored the interests and the aspirations of our district. They did this in drafting the regional policy statement. They have frustrated the consenting process for the Managed Aquifer Recharge project, as we've spoken to this evening, and have blocked the obvious solutions to keeping Lake Hood healthy and one of the most popular recreational places in our region. I have been driving for efficiency of rate spending, a coherent strategy on how we fund and manage our rivers, including gravel extraction, and advocating for enabling development and innovation and some recognition and reward for those provincial Canterbury who have been getting it right. I believe our future will best be served by Christchurch moving to a unitary authority, and that the rest of the region reforming a regional council that has responsibilities not only for land, water management and biosecurity, and managing our rivers to protect them from floods.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Phil, for making those comments on behalf of Ian. These guys will be around afterwards. If you have some other questions you'd wish to ask them over a cuppa, make yourself known. Phil, of course, was representing Ian, but both John and Peter will be here. Okay, before we finish this evening and have a cup of tea together, I just wanted you to know some key dates. Voting packs will start arriving in mailboxes in about 3 weeks' time, so between the 9th of September and the 22nd of September. The vote opens on the 9th and continues up till 12 noon on Saturday the 11th of October. It is a postal vote, so complete the voting papers, put them back into the post-free envelope and drop them into a postal box. You need to post them by the Tuesday the 7th of October to guarantee that they'll reach us before the deadline. If you miss that date, you can drop the papers into one of the big bright orange bins up till midday on election day, the 11th. We'd have 6 around the district. Down here in this part of the district, there will be one at Te Whare Whakatiri, the Ashburton Library building, the EA Network Centre. There will be one at Mobile and Rakaia, and the new Fresh Choice supermarket in Tynwald. If you don't receive the papers or you haven't yet enrolled, you can still cast a special vote, pop in and see us at the council or visit the voteashburton.nz website for details. If you are looking for more information following tonight, the first place perhaps to go to is voteashburton.nz. It hosts all the candidate profiles, including the Braided Rivers Community Trust. Nearly all of our mayoral and council candidates have recorded videos this year as well, which you could see on there. There's lots and lots of information about voting and links to other election resources. And we will also list on that website any other Meet the Candidate evenings that someone else puts on that we hear about. There is another resource that we're promoting, which is policy.nz. That website gives the opportunity for all local councils across New Zealand to register information on that website. I think 3 years ago they had something like 3,500 candidates took advantage of that website. So there's a way of seeing what your people are standing for, but a bit of interest if you have that elsewhere in the country. It is voluntary, not everyone may be there, but it's worth a look. That site launches on the 31st of August, so it hasn't fired up yet, but it is, of course, just around the corner. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. We hope it's given you a better idea of the people who are standing and their policies. Can I just ask you to thank the candidates? It's not easy putting yourself up in front of your community for your votes, and so we appreciate the turnout and the support you've given this event tonight. Thank you. Can we also thank our friends at the Ashburton Courier, Hokanui Radio and the Ashburton Guardian for the contribution you have made. Thank you to all of you for coming. Don't forget to vote. It's an important democratic function we all enjoy in this country. There is tea and coffee out in the foyer in the area where you came in. Please have a cuppa and a mingle and a chat further with anyone who you wish to talk to. Thank you so much.